Hello everyone. Today in this module we will study about public sector enterprises. As you all know, Indian economy, it is a mixed economy. So there is equal role of public sector and private sector in the economic development of the country. Already we have studied in the previous chapter about the private sector enterprises and how these are organized. These can be organized in the form of sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family, cooperative society, company, multinational, corporations. Similarly, in this chapter, we will study about public sector enterprises and how these are organized. These are organized in three different forms, that may be in the form of departmental undertakings, statutory corporations, or government companies. Private sector enterprises, businesses owned, managed and controlled by an individual or a group of individuals. For example, Tata Iron and Steel Company, Reliance Limited, Ranbaxy Laboratories, etc. Public sector enterprises. So, the businesses owned and managed by the government like ONGC, State Trading Corporation, Life Insurance Corporation. These are your public sector enterprises. Now we will study the types of public sector enterprises. Today we will study about first type, departmental undertakings. Departmental undertakings, as the name itself suggests, it is an enterprise that acts as a department of the government, that is a part of the ministry of the government. For example, railway, it is a part of railway ministry. It is considered as a part of railway ministry. So, departmental undertakings, this is the oldest and most traditional form of organizing public enterprises. These are established as department of the ministry and are considered part or an extension of the ministry itself. For example, the Indian Railways are managed by the Ministry of Railways. Post and Telegraph services are run as a department in the Ministry of Communication. The Daily Milk Scheme, All India Radio, Doordarshan are other examples of departmental undertakings. Now, what are the features of these departmental undertakings? First feature is a formation. A departmental undertaking is established either as a separate full-fledged ministry or as a subdivision of a ministry of the government. Like full-fledged ministry, you can say railway. And in case of the subdivision of the ministry, you can talk about the Post and Telegraph Department, that is a part of Ministry of Communication. Ultimate responsibility with the minister. The ultimate responsibility for the management of a departmental undertaking lies with the minister concerned, who is responsible to the parliament or the state legislature for the affairs of the departmental undertaking. So, who is responsible for the ultimate working of the railways? Obviously, it will be the railway minister. Government financing. The departmental undertaking is financed through annual budget appropriations by the parliament or state legislature. That means these are financed from the government treasury. The revenues of the undertaking are paid into the treasury. Fourth feature is accounting and audit. These are subject to the normal budgeting, accounting and audit procedures which are applicable to the other government departments. These are carried out in the same way. Managed by civil servants. The departmental undertaking is managed by civil servants who are subject to same service conditions as applicable to the civil servants of the government. So these are the 5 features of the departmental undertakings. Formation as a part of the government, ultimate responsibility with the minister, government financing, accounting and audit managed by civil servants. Now the merits. Direct control of Parliament. Departmental undertaking is directly responsible to the Parliament or the state legislature through its overall head, that is the minister concerned. So there is direct control of the government. Secrecy maintained. They can maintain secrecy of important policy matters as the government can withhold any information in public interest. So where secrecy is of utmost importance, which form of organization is generally preferred by the government, that is departmental undertaking. It is a source of income for the government because these are financed from the government treasury. So whatever these organizations earn, their revenues, that is being deposited into the government treasury. Earnings of departmental undertaking are paid into the government treasury, resulting in lesser tax burden on the public. Public accountability. These ensure a high degree of public accountability because these are using the resources of the public. So these are the 4 points of merit. Next one is what are the demerits? First point is red tapeism and bureaucracy. Departmental undertaking is run in a way other departments of the government are run. That means there is too much of the paperwork, there is too much of the legal formalities that leads to unnecessary delays. Its management and functioning are subject to excessive red tapeism and bureaucracy. Red tape means unnecessary and complicated official rules, legal formalities, that is red tapeism, which prevent things from being done quickly. As a result, the departmental undertaking loses all flexibility desired of a business enterprise because these always take too much time in getting the things done due to the complicated legal procedures. Number 2, delay in decision making. Employees or heads of departments of such undertakings, they are not allowed to take independent decisions without the approval of the ministry concerned. This leads to delays in matters where prompt decisions are required. Third point is inflexibility. Departmental undertaking works under strict parliamentary control. There is too much interference of the ministers and top officials. This reduces their flexibility and efficiency. Lack of motivation. The departmental undertakings have no power to utilize their revenues as these are deposited in the treasury. So there is no direct relation between the efforts and rewards. So the employees or the management of these departmental undertakings that is not motivated to increase the profits. Lack of financial autonomy. The departmental undertakings cannot plan long-term investment projects as they are subject to budgetary control of government. It has no freedom of utilizing funds in its own way. They have to use as per the permissions granted by the government. They cannot use the funds in their own way according to the business opportunities. They cannot use the funds. They have to use the funds according to the sanctions made by the government. Inefficient management. The departmental undertakings are managed by the government officials. They are always overburdened with too much of the paperwork. They spend their maximum time in answering the queries from Parliament, and also due to frequent transfers and time-bound promotions, they have less sense of responsibility and efficiency that leads to inefficient management. Lethargy prevails in the departmental undertakings in the same way as in the other government departments. That's why management is inefficient. So, departmental undertakings suffer from these 6 demerits: red tapeism and bureaucracy, delay in decision making, inflexibility, lack of motivation, lack of financial autonomy, and inefficient management. That's all for the day. In the next module, we will study about public corporations and government company. Till then, good day to all of you. Thank you.